Good morning and a very warm welcome to this virtual press meet to announce a strategic move made by Biocon Biologics to create global leadership in the biosimilars world. Biocon Biologics has signed a definitive agreement with its partner Viatris to acquire its global biosimilars business, which will enable it to expand affordable access to patients across global markets. With this acquisition, BBL will be positioned as a unique, fully integrated global biosimilars enterprise with a strong presence across developed and emerging markets. It's a momentous day as BBL embarks on the next phase of its value creation journey. And to give you a comprehensive understanding of this path-breaking deal, I have with me today Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, Executive Chairperson, Biocon and Biocon Biologics, Dr. Arun Chandavarkar, Managing Director, Shrihas Tambe, Deputy CEO, and MD Chinnappa, CFO of Biocon Biologics. Before we proceed, I would like to inform you that the conference is being recorded. All the media journalists will be on listen-only mode. You'll be able to ask questions to the management only during the Q&A session. So without further ado, I would now request Kiran to address the media journalists. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Seema, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me at this very short notice. As you all know, today is National Science Day, and I'm extremely excited to speak about this transformational acquisition of Viatris Biosimilars business by Biocon Biologics to create a unique global vertically integrated biosimilars leader. And I want to emphasize the fact that this is a very, very big and huge milestone for us and a big day for India because we are trying to create the world's largest and deepest in terms of portfolio biosimilars enterprise. Let me start by giving you an overview of Biocon Biologics as it stands today. Biocon was amongst the early movers globally to pursue a high-risk, high-reward strategy of developing biosimilars. We took a strategic decision in the early 2000s to actually enter the niche area of biosimilars and biopharmaceuticals at a time when the regulatory pathway for biosimilars had hardly been defined. This whole sector was marked by high entry barriers of complex science, rigorous product quality, and stringent manufacturing standards and daunting regulatory challenges. However, we decided to embark on this very challenging journey, and over the past 2 decades, we have invested in cutting-edge science, advanced technology platforms, and global-scale manufacturing to develop biosimilar biologics that address unmet patient needs and reduce health inequities. We have built a biosimilars business driven with a sense of purpose to enable equitable access to high-quality biologics and make them more affordable. Our biosimilars business has demonstrated success and established global credibility, with 7 of our molecules having been commercialized worldwide. Through our comprehensive biosimilars portfolio, we are serving over 3.6 million patients on a yearly basis. And in benefiting patients, we have also generated revenues of $384 million in FY21. Now, biosimilars, we believe, offers a very attractive global opportunity. It is a class of drugs that have emerged as an effective alternative to reduce the cost of novel biologic therapies. Over 1,000 biosimilars and follow-on biologics are under development for various therapy areas. Globally, the uptake of biosimilars has increased rapidly. About 65% of all biosimilars approved in the US have gained their approval between 2018 and 2019, while 58% of biosimilars in Europe were approved between 2017 to 2019, according to an EY analysis. This trend looks to continue over the next decade. According to IQVIA, the biosimilar value grew at a CAGR of 78% between 2015 and 2020, reaching approximately $18 billion in 2020, and is expected to continue to grow at a CAGR of 15% between 2020 and 2030, reaching an estimated $75 billion within the next decade. And I'm pleased to say that Biocon Biologics is well positioned to have a global play in a major way in biosimilars. I must remind you that we have a 40-year legacy of being on the cutting edge of science. At Biocon, our strategy has always been about bringing differentiated, high-quality, affordable products with high unmet needs to patients, partners, and healthcare systems across the globe. This has led us to deploy highly efficient technology platforms to develop and manufacture fermentation-derived complex APIs, biosimilars that include insulins and monoclonal antibodies, as well as novel biologics. Biocon has consistently unlocked value for over 4 decades. And let me start by reflecting on our journey over the last 4 decades. Since its foundation in 1978, we have witnessed a transformational event every decade, enabling us to expand our business and unlock value across segments. However, if I were to point to 2 key inflection points, I would say the first was in 1998, when we bought out Unilever's stake in Biocon to become truly independent and chart out our own future. And the second is certainly today, as we script a new path at Biocon Biologics as a vertically integrated, world-leading biosimilars enterprise, both in terms of size and portfolio. Throughout our eventful journey, we have been creating new business opportunities and reinventing our businesses to spur our pioneering spirit. From our founding business of enzymes, we have moved to research services at Syngene, fermentation-based biopharmaceuticals, and biosimilars at Biocon Biologics. Our hallmarks of value creation and value unlocking for our shareholders began in 1989, when Unilever bought out our VC investors at a 4x multiple. In 2004, Biocon became the first biotech company to be publicly listed in India, crossing the $1 billion mark on the first day of listing. In 2007, we unlocked the value in our enzymes business through its sale to Novozymes at a very rich multiple, providing us with the capital to fuel our biopharmaceuticals business. We also witnessed a very successful IPO of Syngene, our research services company, in 2015, with a $1 billion listing, thereby creating accretive value for our shareholders. Our biosimilars partnership with Viatris has been an incredible journey, wherein we embarked on a path which was uncharted, given that the biosimilar regulatory pathway was not even formed in most markets. Despite this, we were able to achieve many firsts in the biosimilar space, setting new benchmarks for the industry. The complementary investments made by both the companies in R&D, manufacturing and commercialization ahead of its peers has allowed us to develop strong know-how in each of these verticals. We are ready to advance our biosimilar journey to the next level. This acquisition of Viatris's biosimilar business is an important step to create a leading, fully integrated global biosimilars company, setting us up for the next decade of value creation for all our shareholders. We expect to have an IPO of Biocon Biologics with this new entity structure within the next 2 years. We have several pioneering achievements, beginning with the early launch of recombinant human insulin in 2004 in India, biosimilar glargine in 2009, and biosimilar trastuzumab in 2014. In 2016, we were the first company from India to receive an approval for biosimilar glargine in Japan. Our unique collaboration with Viatris, which began more than a decade ago, has led to achieving many firsts. Globally, we were the first to launch biosimilar pegfilgrastim in the US in 2018 and the first to get approval for biosimilar trastuzumab in 2017. In 2021, our biosimilar glargine received a historic US approval as the first interchangeable biosimilar under the 351(k) regulatory pathway. The acquisition of Viatris's biosimilar business across developed and emerging markets will make Biocon Biologics a unique global vertically integrated biosimilars leader. The complementary investments made by Biocon Biologics and Viatris in R&D, manufacturing, and commercialization has given us a leading edge. Now, let me share the strong strategic rationale for this acquisition. Through this transaction, Biocon Biologics is acquiring Viatris's global biosimilars business, whose revenues are estimated to be in excess of $1 billion next year. This deal will give us full ownership of Viatris's rights in biosimilar assets, including in-license assets, enabling us to recognize combined revenues and profits. By integrating Viatris's portfolio, Biocon Biologics will have one of the broadest and deepest commercialized biosimilars portfolio in the industry. This transaction will accelerate our direct commercialization strategy for our current biosimilars portfolio. It will also make us future ready for the next wave of products. The acquisition of Viatris's robust commercial engine in the developed markets of US and Europe will also fast-track our journey of building a strong global brand. Additionally, this strategic combination will prepare us for the next decade of value creation for all our stakeholders through an IPO, which is being planned within the next 18 to 24 months. Overall, we believe the deal will be value accretive to Biocon and Biocon Biologics shareholders. As a part of this deal, we are acquiring Viatris's global biosimilars business, which is estimated to be in excess of $1 billion in revenue next year. Post-closure of this deal, Biocon Biologics will realize the full revenue and associated profits from its partnered products, which is a step up from the existing arrangement of realizing a smaller fraction of the economic benefits of this partnership. It will thus expand our EBITDA base and strengthen overall financials, enabling us to invest in sustained long-term growth. We have consistently focused on the importance of vertical integration in the biosimilars industry to be agile and competitive. Thus far, we relied on the complementary capabilities of Viatris and Biocon Biologics to provide vertical integration. As the biosimilar industry matures, a fully integrated model will become increasingly important for companies to drive sustainable growth. This acquisition now enables Biocon Biologics to be a standalone, vertically integrated organization and fills the gaps in our missing capabilities in developed markets, especially around supply chain and commercialization. Our long-standing relationship with Viatris positions us very well to seamlessly and rapidly integrate and thereby maximize value from this transaction. Additionally, it accelerates our readiness for the next wave of biosimilars under development. This deal provides several advantages. It strengthens our financial profile, allowing us to make continued investments in R&D, expand global scale manufacturing capacity and capability, and widen geographical reach. It will enable us to realize commercial, regulatory, and IP capabilities in developed markets, as well as operational efficiencies. Assemble a comprehensive portfolio comprising our current range of commercialized insulins, oncology, and immunology biosimilars, as well as several other biosimilar assets currently under development. By bringing together the complementary capabilities and strengths of both partners, this deal prepares us to unlock significant value for all our stakeholders. So, when it comes to the full ownership of our partnered biosimilars portfolio, including in-licensed assets, it includes a comprehensive biosimilars insulin portfolio of recombinant human insulin, biosimilar glargine, and aspart. A growing biosimilar oncology portfolio that includes biosimilar trastuzumab, biosimilar pegfilgrastim, and biosimilar bevacizumab. A significant presence in the autoimmune segment through in-licensed products by Viatris like adalimumab and etanercept. An additional value add comes from biosimilar aflibercept or Eylea, on which we have an option and a payment obligation by FY25. This is an asset that is part of this deal, and it has the potential to be a first to market product, since it also is the first to file. The deal will create a comprehensive product portfolio. Biocon Biologics currently has a portfolio of 20 biosimilars, and the acquisition of biosimilar assets of Viatris will provide significant potential for growth in all the disease segments that we are serving. It also prepares us for greater success with the commercialization of our future pipeline. This transaction will certainly enhance our geographical reach. Combining Viatris's biosimilar business with Biocon Biologics accelerates the build-out of our commercial capability in developed markets to become a strong global brand with a direct presence in the US, Europe, Canada, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. We are confident that this deal will drive immense value for our shareholders, as it will strengthen Biocon Biologics' financial profile, enable Biocon Biologics to continue investing for sustained long-term growth, be value accretive to both Biocon and Biologics shareholders, maximize value for patients and other stakeholders globally, and of course, prepare us for greater success with the commercialization of our present and future pipelines. This transaction has been structured as part cash and part equity. Viatris will receive up to $3.335 billion in cash and stock, and the breakup of the consideration is as follows. Viatris will receive cash consideration of $2 billion on closing of the transaction, to which there will be an adjustment of $50 million on account of certain capex related funding. Upon closing of the transaction, Biocon Biologics will issue $1 billion of compulsory convertible preference shares to Viatris, equivalent to a fully diluted equity stake of at least 12.9%, with a cap to the total number of shares being issued. There is additional deferred consideration of $335 million due in FY25, of which $175 million is linked to the option to acquire biosimilar aflibercept. Viatris will designate Mr. Rajiv Malik to serve on the Biocon Biologics board. The cash payment of $2 billion will be funded through a combination of equity infusion in Biocon Biologics as well as debt. We have already received commitments of $800 million of equity investments and $1.8 billion of debt financing, allowing us to comfortably fund this transaction. The future considerations will be primarily funded from the cash generated in the business. The debt assumed in this transaction will be well supported by the larger EBITDA base, a combination of Biocon Biologics, Viatris, and vaccine income streams, and future equity infusions, including at the IPO. The deal has been structured to ensure a seamless transition. Viatris will provide transition services for 2 years, ensuring continued services to patients and customers. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2022. Minimal overlap of roles in the two organizations due to complementary nature of the teams will make the integration process seamless. I will continue as the executive chairperson of Biocon Biologics, and Mr. Rajiv Malik will be designated by Viatris to serve on the board of Biocon Biologics. We are confident that this deal will make us future ready by creating a fully integrated global biosimilars company with global scale and reach, strengthens our commercial presence in both developed and emerging markets. It builds a comprehensive portfolio of biosimilars and vaccines with a clear growth path in the near to medium term, expanding our large-scale biologics manufacturing with end-to-end capabilities, building the organization of the future under the stewardship of a highly experienced management team, and it enables us to continue investing for long-term growth on the back of robust financials. We believe that this is a deal which I think is extremely transformational for Biocon. It is a deal that is very value accretive in every sense of the word, both for the business and for our shareholders. And we believe that the combined business realization of what Biocon Biologics has today and what we will acquire from Viatris is significant. It is a value accretive, and it is going to create immense upside for our shareholders.